Let your eyelids grow heavy now, soft and weighted, as you settle into this moment of stillness. Feel how your breath naturally finds its own gentle rhythm, waves rolling in and drawing back, effortless and calm. Each exhale carries away a little more of the day, and each inhale brings you deeper into this peaceful space. Your body knows how to rest. It remembers. Let it sink now, heavy and held, into the softness beneath you. Feel the tension dissolving from your shoulders like sugar in warm water. Let your jaw unclench, your hands unfold, your whole being soften into this moment of release. Tonight, we journey to a place that exists in the space between sleeping and waking, where the ordinary world grows soft at its edges and something luminous waits just beyond. Tonight, you will visit the library between dreams, a sanctuary of forgotten wonder where every book holds a memory of joy that once belonged to you. The gentle librarian is waiting there, in the quiet and the golden light, ready to help you find what you have lost and did not know you were missing. Let yourself float now, toward that threshold, toward that quiet, magical place. Breathe in the possibility. Breathe out the day. Let your body grow heavier and your mind grow lighter. Let yourself drift like a leaf on water, carried by something larger than yourself, something patient and kind. And let us begin. You cannot remember the moment of arrival, only that you are suddenly aware of standing in a vast space filled with the softest light you have ever seen. It is golden, but not the harsh gold of midday sun. This is the gold of honey held up to lamplight, of amber with ancient secrets inside, of the last gentle rays before sunset that make everything they touch look tender and loved. The light seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, diffusing through the air itself as though the atmosphere here is made of something kinder than the air you left behind. It moves slowly, this light, swirling in lazy patterns like cream stirred into tea, and watching it makes you feel peaceful in a way you cannot quite name. The library stretches before you in all directions, and your first thought is that it has no walls, no ceiling, no floor that you can see the edges of. There are only shelves. Thousands upon thousands of shelves, extending upward until they fade into a soft, glowing mist, and spreading outward in gentle curves and spirals that make you think of nautilus shells, of labyrinths designed not to confuse but to embrace, of the way water moves when it has all the time in the world. The shelves are made of dark wood that gleams with a deep, lustrous warmth, polished by countless years and countless hands until the grain seems to glow from within. They wind and weave through the space like a river system seen from above, creating alcoves and clearings, intimate corners and grand galleries, all filled with books. The books themselves are unlike any you have seen in the waking world. Each one seems to generate its own subtle glow, as though lit from within by something patient and alive. Some pulse very gently, like a heartbeat seen through skin, a steady rhythm that is soothing to watch. Others shimmer with colors that shift as you look at them, moving through shades of blue like water under changing skies, or warming from rose to gold to softest peach like a sunset compressed into a single moment that never ends. A few seem to contain tiny stars that drift lazily through their bindings, constellations rearranging themselves in slow, peaceful patterns, tracing geometries that almost make sense, that feel like they mean something just beyond your understanding. The spines bear no titles that you can read, only symbols that feel more like emotions made visible than any language you know. A spiral that suggests infinity. A circle bisected by a gentle wave. Something that looks like a tree but also like a person with arms raised. Glyphs that shift slightly when you look away and back again, as though they are alive, as though they are choosing how to present themselves to you in this particular moment. You realize that you do not need to read them in the traditional sense. You will know which book is yours when you see it. You will feel it calling. The silence here is profound, but it is not empty. It is full in the way that snow falling at night is full, in the way that the moment before sleep is full, in the way that a cathedral is full even when no one is speaking. You can hear the gentlest of sounds, the whisper of pages turning somewhere distant, like the sound of wings or wind through grass. A soft intake of breath, perhaps your own, perhaps someone else's, perhaps the library itself breathing. The sound of your own heartbeat, slow and steady in your chest, a drum that has been beating since before you knew anything, that will beat until your last moment, faithful and constant. There is a scent too, barely there, but comforting in a way that makes you think of safety, of childhood, of being taken care of. Old paper and vanilla. Jasmine and clean rain. Something like cinnamon, something like the air after a thunderstorm has passed, washed clean and full of promise. It makes you feel safe, though you cannot say why. It makes you feel welcome, as though you have been expected, as though someone has been preparing this place for your arrival. You take a step forward, and your footfall makes no sound. The floor beneath you is smooth and slightly warm, and when you glance down you see that it appears to be made of something like marble, but the color of it shifts gently, swirls of cream and gray and the palest blue moving through it like thoughts moving through a dreaming mind, like clouds seen from an airplane, like the surface of some gentle sea. The movement is so slow that you cannot actually see it happening, but when you look away and then back, the patterns have changed, have reformed into new configurations of soft color and light. You feel no fear here. Only curiosity, gentle and drowsy, and a strange sense of homecoming that you cannot quite explain. This place does not feel foreign. It feels like somewhere you have been before, perhaps in dreams you do not remember, perhaps in some life before this one, perhaps in some deep part of yourself that has always known this place existed. As you move deeper into the library, between the shelves with their glowing books, you become aware that you are not alone. There is a presence here, moving toward you with footsteps as silent as your own. You can feel them before you see them, a warmth in the air, a sense of approach that is gentle and unthreatening. You turn, and you see the librarian. She is tall and graceful, dressed in robes that seem to be made of the same soft light that fills this place. The fabric moves around her like water, like smoke, never quite settling, always flowing in a gentle motion that follows no wind you can feel. It changes color subtly as she moves, shifting from cream to gold to the palest lavender and back again, never garish, always soothing. Her face is kind, ageless in the way that trees are ageless, that stones are ageless, that things of deep patience are ageless. She might be 30 or 300. Time does not touch her the way it touches things in your world. Her hair is long and flows down her back, the color of it indistinct, somewhere between brown and gold and silver all at once. Her eyes are warm and dark, deep pools that reflect the light around them, and when they meet yours, you feel seen in a way that is not intrusive, not demanding. It is the way you might want to be seen. Gently. Completely. Without judgment. Without expectation. Only with kindness and a deep, abiding patience. She smiles, and it is a smile that reaches all the way to you, that wraps around you like a blanket, like arms, like the feeling of being welcomed home after a long journey. Her smile makes small lines appear at the corners of her eyes, and somehow this makes her more beautiful, not less. It speaks of laughter, of joy, of a life lived fully even in this quiet place between dreams. "Welcome," she says, and her voice is everything you hoped it would be. It is soft as velvet, warm as tea with honey, steady as a hand on your shoulder when you need comfort, gentle as rain on a summer afternoon. There is music in it, though she is not singing. There is comfort in it, though she has only spoken one word. Welcome to the library between dreams. I have been waiting for you. You want to ask how she knew you were coming, but before you can form the words, she gestures gently toward the endless shelves around you, her movement fluid and unhurried. "Every book here," she says, and her voice has the quality of someone sharing a precious secret, contains a dream. Not the dreams you have at night, though those exist here too, in their own section, filed away like memories of memories. These are the dreams of waking life. The moments of pure joy, of wonder, of connection that you once experienced, and then, as life went on, as time passed and responsibilities accumulated and the world grew louder, forgot. They are not lost. They are never lost. They are only shelved here, preserved in amber, waiting for you to find them again. She moves closer, and you catch the scent of lavender, of old books, of something clean and comforting that reminds you of fresh linen dried in the sun, of herb gardens on warm days, of safety. You have come here because some part of you knows that you are missing pieces of yourself. Pieces of joy. Pieces of wonder. The world you live in is so loud, so demanding, so relentlessly busy that these quieter, softer moments get buried beneath everything else. They get pushed down by deadlines and obligations and the constant noise of modern life. They get forgotten in the rush from one thing to the next, in the endless scroll of information, in the weight of worry and responsibility that you carry every day. But they are still yours. They always will be. And tonight, if you wish, we can find them. We can remember them. And in remembering, you can take them back. You can reclaim the parts of yourself that you thought were gone. You realize that you do wish this, more than anything. There is an ache in your chest that you had not noticed until this moment, a hollowness, a longing for something you could not name until now. You have been living without joy, or at least without the full measure of joy that you once knew. You have been moving through your days in a kind of gray fog, doing what needs to be done but not really feeling the beauty of being alive. And here, in this place of soft light and infinite books, you understand. You have been missing your own joy. You have been living without wonder. And you want it back. You want to remember what it feels like to be fully alive, fully present, fully capable of delight. The librarian sees this in your face, in the way your breath catches, in the way your eyes fill with sudden tears that you did not know were there, and she nods with deep understanding. Her own eyes grow soft with compassion, and she reaches out, placing a gentle hand on your arm. Her touch is warm and steady, grounding you in this moment, in this place. "Then let us begin," she says softly. "The library will help us. It knows what you need. It has been keeping these memories safe for you, polishing them, preserving them, waiting for the moment when you would be ready to receive them again. All we must do is walk, and listen, and be open to what calls to you. Trust yourself. Trust the library. Trust that what you need will find you. She turns and begins to walk deeper into the shelves, and you follow. The act of walking here feels dreamlike, effortless. You are not tired, though the atmosphere is so peaceful that you feel you could rest at any moment. Your legs move smoothly, carrying you forward with no effort, as though you are floating just slightly above the ground, as though gravity has released its hold on you just enough to make everything easy. Time does not seem to work the way it should. You might have been walking for moments or hours. It does not matter. There is no urgency here. Only the gentle rhythm of your footsteps, the librarian's flowing robes ahead of you moving like water, and the countless glowing books on every side. As you walk, you notice more details. Some shelves have books stacked horizontally, others vertically, and some have books arranged in patterns that seem random but feel intentional, as though there is an organization here that operates on principles beyond your understanding. Some books are thick as dictionaries, their spines wide enough that you could read the symbols from across the aisle. Others are slim as pamphlets, delicate things that look like they might dissolve if touched too roughly. The colors continue to shift and shimmer. A book with a cover the color of summer sky, deep blue fading to azure at the edges, with wisps of white like clouds drifting across its surface. Another that glows soft pink like the inside of a seashell, with whirls and spirals that make you think of ocean waves, of tide pools, of the sound of the sea. One that seems to contain a tiny thunderstorm, gray clouds roiling gently inside the binding, occasional flickers of golden lightning illuminating it from within, and you swear you can hear the faintest rumble of thunder when you pass close to it. You want to touch them all, to open every book and dive into every memory, but you sense that you must wait. You must let the right one find you. The librarian has said that the library knows what you need, and you believe her. You trust this place in a way that surprises you. You trust it more than you trust most things in your waking life. The path curves and winds through the shelves in gentle spirals, and you realize that you are walking slightly downward, descending in a slow, easy slope that you barely notice. The light remains golden and soft, but it grows richer somehow, thicker, as though you are moving deeper into honey, into amber, into some substance that is more forgiving than ordinary air. The librarian leads you around a gentle curve in the path, and suddenly the space opens into a small circular clearing. In the center is a table, round and made of the same warm dark wood as the shelves. It sits on a single pedestal that spirals like a seashell, like a nautilus, elegant and organic. And on the table sits a single book. It is glowing more brightly than the others, a soft golden light that pulses gently, invitingly, like a heart beating. The cover is the color of sunrise, peachy gold with threads of rose running through it, and as you approach, you see tiny sparkles of light moving across its surface like dust motes in a sunbeam, like fireflies on a summer evening, like stars being born in some distant galaxy. This one, the librarian says softly, and her voice is full of tenderness, is calling to you. It holds something you have forgotten. Something from when you were young, when the world was still full of small magics and everything felt possible, when you believed in the extraordinary hidden inside the ordinary. Would you like to open it? You reach out, and your hand trembles just slightly as your fingers touch the cover. It is warm, smooth as silk, and the moment you make contact, you feel a rush of something. Not quite memory. Not quite emotion. Something between the two, something deeper than either. A recognition that lives in your body, in your bones, in the oldest parts of your brain that remember things your conscious mind has forgotten. Something ancient and familiar and deeply, deeply yours. You open the book. The pages glow softly, and at first, you see only light, golden and warm and welcoming. But then the light begins to resolve into images, into sensations, into sounds and smells and feelings. The memory unfolds around you like a story, like a world, like a cocoon of experience that wraps you completely. You are no longer standing in the library. You are somewhere else. Someone else. You are stepping back through time, through the years, becoming younger, smaller, more open. You are small. Child small. The world is huge around you, and everything is bright with that particular brightness that only exists in childhood, when colors seem more vivid and sounds more clear, when the mundane becomes magical simply because you are new enough to the world to see it clearly. You are in a garden. Your grandmother's garden, you realize with a sudden rush of recognition that makes your throat tight with emotion you did not expect. You had forgotten this place. How had you forgotten this place? How had something so precious, so formative, so full of love slipped from your conscious memory and been buried beneath years of living? The garden is wild and beautiful, not manicured but loved. It has the look of a place that has been tended with affection rather than control, where things are allowed to grow as they wish within gentle boundaries. There are flowers everywhere, blooms in colors so saturated they almost hurt to look at. Roses the color of blood, of sunsets, of cream so pale it seems to glow from within. Big, blowsy roses with layers of petals that seem infinite, that release their perfume into the warm air in waves. Daisies with their simple white petals and cheerful yellow hearts, growing in great clumps along the edges of the path. Tall hollyhocks nodding in a breeze you can feel on your skin, warm and scented with cut grass and something sweet you cannot name but that fills you with a contentment so deep it is almost painful. Their blooms are pink and purple and deep magenta, growing up tall stalks that tower over your small head. There are bees moving lazily from flower to flower, their hum a constant, peaceful drone that fills the air like meditation, like a lullaby made of insect wings and contentment. They are fat and fuzzy, dusted with pollen, moving with the singular purpose of creatures who know exactly what they are meant to do in this world. You are not afraid of them. At this age, you have not yet learned to fear the things that could sting. You only think they are beautiful, these small flying things that make the flowers happy. The sun is warm on your shoulders, and you are wearing something soft. A t-shirt that is too big, that hangs nearly to your knees, probably handed down from an older cousin or sibling. It is faded from many washings, thin and comfortable, worn soft as a whisper. You are barefoot, and the grass beneath your feet is cool and slightly damp, tickling between your toes, the blades soft against the soles of your feet. You can feel each step, each blade of grass bending beneath your weight, and it feels like the earth is saying hello to you, like the ground is welcoming you home. Your grandmother is there, kneeling by a rose bush, her hands gentle as she tends the plants with the kind of patience that only comes from years of practice, from a lifetime of caring for growing things. She is humming something tuneless, something that is just her voice making happy sounds while she works, a melody that has no structure but perfect feeling. You cannot see her face from this angle, but you do not need to. You know the shape of her, the smell of her, the way her presence feels like safety itself, like love made solid and dependable. She is wearing a wide-brimmed straw hat to keep the sun off, the kind of hat that looks like it has been around forever, that has its own character, its own memories woven into the straw. Her gardening gloves are old and stained with earth, with the evidence of countless hours spent coaxing beauty from the soil. You are supposed to be helping her, meant to be pulling weeds or watering the plants or doing some small task that makes you feel useful and grown up. But you have gotten distracted, the way children do, your attention caught by something that seems, in this moment, more important than anything else in the world. There is a patch of clover near the edge of the garden bed, a thick carpet of green, and you have been searching through it with the intensity of a treasure hunter, gently parting the three-leaved clusters, looking for the magic one. The four-leaf clover. You believe, with the absolute certainty of childhood, with a faith that has not yet been complicated by reason or disappointment, that if you find one, something wonderful will happen. You do not know what. You cannot articulate what you expect or hope for. But something magical. Something that will prove that the world is more than it seems, that there are hidden wonders waiting to be discovered, that luck and magic and miracles are real, tangible things that can be held in a small hand. And then, impossibly, wonderfully, you find it. Your small fingers close gently around the stem, and you pull it free with the greatest care, afraid that it might disappear if you are too rough, that it might turn out to be an illusion. But it is real. Solid and real in your hand. You hold it up to the light, and the sun shines through the leaves, making them glow green and translucent and perfect. 4 leaves. 4 perfect leaves, each one distinct, each one clearly separate. You have found magic. You have found proof that magic is real, that the world contains more than what is ordinary, that if you look closely enough and believe hard enough, miracles reveal themselves. The joy that floods through you is so pure, so complete, so undiluted by any other emotion that you gasp with the intensity of it. It fills your entire body, from your bare toes to the top of your head, a feeling so big it seems impossible that your small frame can contain it. It is a joy without complication, without irony, without any shadow of doubt or self-consciousness. It is the joy of believing in something and having that belief confirmed. The joy of treasure found. The joy of the world winking at you, showing you that yes, there are small miracles, yes, there is wonder hidden in plain sight, yes, you are seen and loved and part of something larger than yourself. Yes, the universe is on your side. You run to your grandmother, your small legs carrying you across the grass, the clover clutched carefully in your fist, and you call out to her, your voice high and filled with excitement that cannot be contained. She turns at the sound of your voice, and her face lights up when she sees you, when she sees what you are holding, when she recognizes the particular quality of joy that is radiating from you. She takes off her gloves with deliberate care, setting them aside on the ground, and kneels down to your level, giving you her full attention, treating this moment with the seriousness it deserves. You show her the clover, breathless with excitement, your words tumbling over each other as you try to explain what you found, how you found it, what it means. She examines it with complete seriousness, taking it gently from your hand and turning it in her fingers, studying each leaf as though she is a scholar examining an ancient text, as though this small plant is the most important thing in the world. And in this moment, it is. Because it is important to you, it is important to her. That is how love works. You found it, she says, and her voice is filled with genuine wonder, with an awe that matches your own, as though you have just discovered treasure beyond price rather than a common genetic mutation in a clover plant. You found the magic clover. Do you know what this means? You shake your head, unable to speak, your whole body vibrating with happiness and anticipation, waiting to hear what wisdom she will share, what this discovery means for your life, for your future, for your place in the world. She leans in close, and you can smell her. Roses and soil and something that is just her, just the scent of the person who loves you most in the world, who has loved you since before you could remember, who will love you always. Her face is close to yours, and you can see the lines around her eyes, the softness of her skin, the love in her expression. It means, she whispers, and her voice is conspiratorial, as though she is sharing a secret of profound importance, that you are very, very lucky. And that you have eyes that can see magic. Not everyone does, you know. Some people walk past clover patches their whole lives and never find a single four-leaf clover. But you have the gift. You can see what others miss. And you always will, if you remember to look. She hands the clover back to you with ceremonial care, and you hold it like the sacred thing it is, like a talisman, like a promise. The sun is warm on your back, the bees are humming their endless summer song, and your grandmother is smiling at you with a smile that says she sees you, she knows you, she believes in your capacity for wonder. And in this moment, the world is perfect. Absolutely, completely perfect. There is no past to regret, no future to worry about. There is only now, only this golden afternoon in the garden, only this feeling of being small and safe and full of wonder, held in a moment that seems like it could last forever. The memory begins to fade, gently, the way dreams fade when you are waking slowly on a morning with nowhere to be. The colors soften, bleeding into each other like watercolors on wet paper. The sounds grow distant, as though someone is slowly turning down the volume on the world. You feel yourself being pulled back, back across the years, back through time, back to the library and the soft light and the endless shelves. For a moment you want to hold on, to stay in that garden forever, to be that child forever, safe and loved and full of uncomplicated joy. But the pull is gentle and irresistible, and you understand that you cannot stay. You can only visit. You can only remember. And perhaps that is enough. You are standing in the circular clearing again, the book open in your hands. The pages still glow softly, but the memory has receded back into them, folding itself back into the binding, waiting for the next time you need it. You close the book carefully, reverently, your hands trembling slightly. There are tears on your cheeks. You can feel them, warm and surprising, tracing lines down your face. But they are not sad tears. They are the tears of finding something you thought was lost forever. The tears of recognition. The tears of reunion. The librarian's face is full of compassion, of understanding that needs no words. She has seen this before, you realize. She has watched countless people remember their own joy, has witnessed this transformation over and over, and it never gets old for her. Each person's joy is unique. Each person's wonder is precious. She honors every moment of rediscovery as though it is the first time, as though it is the most important thing in the world. You remembered, she says softly, and her voice wraps around you like a hug. You remembered what it felt like to believe in magic. To see wonder in small things. To be fully present in a moment of pure joy. That child in the garden, the one who searched for four-leaf clovers and believed in magic, that child is still inside you. That capacity for wonder, for delight, for seeing beauty in simple things, it is still yours. It never left. It was only shelved here, waiting for you to remember. And now that you have remembered, you can access it again. You can choose to look for magic in your daily life. You can choose to be present in moments of beauty. You can choose to let yourself feel joy without qualification or apology. You nod, unable to speak. Your throat is too full of emotion, your heart too full of feeling to articulate anything coherent. But you understand. That little child in the garden, searching for four-leaf clovers with such determination and faith, that child is not gone. They are not someone you used to be. They are someone you still are, beneath all the layers of adult responsibility and world weariness and learned cynicism. That capacity for wonder is still there, waiting. All you have to do is remember to look. All you have to do is give yourself permission to feel it. The librarian reaches out and gently takes the book from your hands. She carries it to one of the nearby shelves and places it there, carefully, lovingly, sliding it into a space that seems to have been waiting for it. It will be here whenever you need it, she says, her back still to you as she arranges the book just so. Whenever you forget that you can still see magic, whenever the world feels gray and joyless, whenever you need to remember that wonder is possible, you can come back. Or you can simply remember, in the waking world, sitting at your desk or standing in line or lying in bed at night, that this moment exists inside you. That this garden exists inside you. That this joy is always available. It is not dependent on circumstances. It is not something you have to wait for or earn. It is already yours. It always has been. She turns back to you, and her eyes are warm and bright, reflecting the golden light that fills this space. She gestures down the path that leads deeper into the library, toward shelves you have not yet explored, toward memories you have not yet reclaimed. Are you ready to continue? She asks, and though her words are a question, her tone suggests she already knows the answer. There are other books that are calling to you. Other memories that want to be found. Other pieces of yourself that are waiting to come home. You realize that you are ready. More than ready. The first memory has opened something in you, has warmed something that had gone cold without you noticing. It has reminded you that you are capable of profound feeling, of deep joy, of wonder that fills your whole being. You want more. You want to remember all the pieces of joy that you have misplaced over the years, all the moments of beauty that have been filed away and forgotten. You want to reclaim every bit of wonder that belongs to you. You nod, and the librarian smiles. You walk together deeper into the library, side by side now rather than in single file. The path is wide enough for both of you, and you find comfort in her presence beside you, in the soft sound of her robes moving as she walks, in the occasional brush of fabric against your arm that reminds you that you are not alone in this exploration. The light remains soft and golden, but it shifts as you walk, growing richer in some places, paler in others, creating patterns of illumination that make you think of sun through leaves, of light on water, of all the ways that brightness can be gentle rather than harsh. The shelves continue their gentle spirals and curves, and you pass books of every conceivable color, every size and shape. Some whisper as you walk by, a sound like wind through grass, like pages turning in a distant room, like voices speaking too softly to understand but loud enough to know they are there. Others hum, very softly, as though they contain songs that are always being sung, music boxes that never wind down, lullabies that never end. You let your fingers trail along the spines as you walk, feeling the different textures. Smooth leather, cool and soft. Rough cloth, nubby and warm. Something that feels like velvet, plush and inviting. Something that feels like tree bark, rough and organic and alive. Each book is unique, each one contains a world, a moment, a piece of someone's soul. You notice that some books seem to lean toward you as you pass, as though they want to be chosen, as though they have something they need to tell you. Others recede slightly, as though they know this is not their moment, that their time will come but it is not now. The library is alive in a way that you cannot quite explain. It is not just a building, not just a collection of objects. It is a living system, responsive and intelligent, attuned to your needs in ways that surprise you. The path you are walking begins to slope gently downward again, a descent so gradual that you only notice it because your legs feel slightly different, because the quality of movement has changed ever so subtly. The light shifts as you descend, becoming cooler, softer, more like twilight than afternoon. The shelves here hold books in shades of blue and silver, gray and violet, indigo and periwinkle. They glow like moonlight, like starlight, like the bioluminescence of deep-sea creatures that live in darkness and create their own light. The atmosphere becomes even more peaceful, if such a thing is possible. You feel your footsteps slowing naturally, your breathing deepening, your whole being settling into a state of profound calm. There is no hurry here. There never was. There never will be. Time is not a river rushing you forward. Here, time is an ocean, vast and patient, and you float in it without effort. The librarian leads you around another curve, and you find yourself in a different kind of space. This one is larger than the first clearing, and the ceiling here is visible. It is high and vaulted, arching overhead in graceful curves that remind you of cathedral architecture, of the inside of a ribcage, of shelter and protection and sacred space. And it is filled with stars. Not painted stars. Not lights meant to look like stars. Real stars, somehow contained in this impossible space, glowing with ancient light that has traveled unimaginable distances to reach your eyes, arranged in constellations you almost recognize from your own night sky but not quite, as though these are the stars from some other world, some other reality where the patterns are similar but shifted, familiar but strange. The sight of them makes you catch your breath. It is so beautiful it is almost painful, the kind of beauty that makes your chest tight, that makes you aware of how small you are and how vast the universe is, that makes you feel both insignificant and profoundly connected at the same time. The stars pulse gently, their light soft and steady, and you realize that they are breathing, or you are breathing, or the whole space is breathing, all of you together in one gentle rhythm. In this starlit clearing, there is another table, different from the first. This one appears to be made of dark stone, smooth and cool, veined with silver like the night sky shot through with stars. And on it, resting as though it has been waiting just for you, is another book. This one is midnight blue, the color of the sky an hour after sunset when the last light has drained away and the stars have begun their vigil. It is traced with silver lines that form patterns like constellations, like frost on windows, like the branching of trees, like the neural pathways in a brain. The patterns shift slightly as you watch, rearranging themselves in slow, hypnotic movements. It pulses gently with a cool, silvery light that makes you think of moonlight on water, of Mercury, of things that are beautiful and a little bit mysterious. The librarian gestures toward it with a movement of her hand that is graceful and inviting. "This one," she says, and her voice is softer here, as though she does not want to disturb the stars, holds a different kind of joy. Not the bright joy of childhood wonder, but something quieter. Something that came later, when you were older and had learned more about the world, had seen more of its complexity. The joy of discovery, of understanding, of finding connection in unexpected places. The joy of perspective. Would you like to see? You approach the table and place your hands on the cover of the book. It is cool to the touch, smooth as glass, as polished stone, as the surface of a still lake on a windless night. You open it, and again the pages glow, and again the memory rises around you like water, like mist, like fog rolling in from the sea, until you are no longer in the library but somewhere else entirely. You are older now. A teenager, perhaps, or in your early 20s. That age when you are no longer a child but not quite fully formed as an adult either, when you are still discovering who you are, still figuring out your place in the world. It is night, very late. Perhaps 2 or 3 in the morning, that strange hour when the world belongs only to the sleepless and the dreamers, when normal rules seem suspended and anything feels possible. You are lying on your back on a blanket spread over grass. You can feel the texture of the blanket beneath you, slightly scratchy wool or thick cotton, and beneath that the give of earth, the slight dampness of dew beginning to form, seeping slowly through the fabric. The air is cool, not cold, but cool enough that you can feel it on your exposed skin, on your face and hands and arms. It smells like night, like grass and soil and distance, clean and infinite. You are far from any city lights, somewhere remote and dark and perfect. Perhaps you drove here with friends, or perhaps you came alone, seeking solitude. The specifics do not matter. What matters is where you are now. What matters is what is above you. The sky is a vast sweep of stars, more stars than you knew existed, more than you have ever seen in your life. Growing up near cities, you knew intellectually that there were many stars, that the galaxy contained billions of them, but knowing and seeing are different things. This is seeing. This is understanding in a way that bypasses intellect entirely and goes straight to something deeper, something that lives in your bones and your breath. The stars are everywhere, scattered across the darkness in such profusion that they blur together in places, creating that impossible river of light called the Milky Way, our galaxy seen from inside, billions of suns compressed into a band of luminescence that arcs across the entire visible sky. You are not alone. There is someone lying next to you on the blanket, close enough that you can feel their warmth, their presence, though you are not touching. You cannot quite see their face in your memory, and you realize that this is because the face is not what mattered. It could have been any of several people from that time in your life. A friend who understood you. A person you loved or thought you loved. Someone who could share silence with you and make it feel like conversation, who could lie beside you in the dark without needing to fill the space with words. You have been lying here for a long time, not speaking, just looking up at the universe spread above you. And something has happened in the quiet, in the vastness, in the patient presence of so much ancient light. Something has shifted in your understanding of yourself, of your life, of what matters. You have felt, suddenly and completely, how small you are. How brief your life is in the scope of cosmic time. How insignificant, in the grand mathematical equation of existence. And instead of making you feel frightened or lonely or nihilistic, this realization has filled you with the most profound sense of peace you have ever known. You are small. You are brief. Your life is a flash, less than a flash, a spark that flares and is gone in the endless night of deep time. And it does not matter. Not in the way you thought it did. All the things you worry about, all the ways you judge yourself, all the expectations and pressures and fears that fill your daily life, they shrink to nothing under this sky. They are revealed as the temporary, manageable things they truly are. Your embarrassments, your failures, your regrets, the things you said wrong or did not do at all, they are so small compared to this. So small as to be invisible. You are a part of this. This vast, ancient, beautiful universe. You are made of star stuff. You realize that you have heard this phrase before and it always seemed like a pretty metaphor. But now you understand it as literal truth. The atoms in your body were forged in the cores of stars that died billions of years ago, scattered across space, eventually coalescing into planets and people and everything you see around you. You are the universe looking at itself. You are a way for the cosmos to know itself. You are not separate from any of this. You are not other. You are home. You have always been home. You are part of the pattern, part of the dance, part of the infinite unfolding of existence. The person next to you shifts slightly, and the movement brings you partway back to yourself, reminds you that you are not alone in this moment of revelation. Then they speak, and their voice is quiet, full of the same awe you are feeling, hushed as though they are in a cathedral, as though loud voices would be inappropriate in the presence of such majesty. It makes everything else seem kind of ridiculous, doesn't it? They say, and you can hear the slight wonder in their voice, the way their words are searching for meaning, trying to articulate something that is almost too big for language. All the things we stress about. All the drama. It all seems so small from here. And you laugh, softly, and you feel tears in your eyes for the second time tonight, but again they are not sad tears. They are tears of relief, of release, of understanding. Tears that come when something tight inside you finally lets go, when a knot you did not know you were carrying suddenly unravels. Yeah, you whisper back, your voice rough with emotion. It really does. You lie there in the cool darkness, under more stars than you can count, under light that has traveled for years and centuries and millennia to reach your eyes, and you feel connected. Connected to the earth beneath you, solid and patient and old. Connected to the person beside you, another small life sharing this moment of vastness. Connected to the light itself, to the stars that created you, to the ancient story of matter and energy that has been unfolding since the beginning of time and will continue long after you are gone. You feel held by something larger than yourself, something ancient and patient and infinitely kind. You feel your problems settling like sediment, your anxieties quieting like a sea after a storm. You feel your heart expanding, opening, making room for something bigger than fear, bigger than worry, bigger than the small concerns that normally dominate your thoughts. This is a different kind of joy than the clover in the garden, but it is no less profound. It is the joy of perspective, of understanding your place in the pattern, of realizing that you are both magnificently insignificant and infinitely precious. It is the joy of looking up instead of in, of remembering that there is a whole universe out there that does not care about your failures, your embarrassments, your small daily struggles, and that this indifference is not cruel but liberating. You do not have to be important. You do not have to matter in some grand cosmic sense. You only have to be here, now, breathing and alive and connected to everything that is. You breathe deeply, and the air tastes like grass and night and possibility. You are young, and you are alive, and you are lying under the stars with someone who understands, and in this moment, you know with absolute certainty that everything is going to be okay. Not because your life will be easy or perfect. Not because you will not face pain and loss and difficulty. But because you are part of something so much larger than your own story, and that connection, that belonging, can never be taken from you. No matter what happens, you are made of stars. You are the universe experiencing itself. You are a brief, beautiful flame in the darkness, and that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything. The stars seem to pulse above you, and you realize that they are not pulsing. You are seeing them through the tears that have gathered in your eyes, distorting them, making them shimmer and dance. You blink, and a tear runs down your temple, into your hair. The person beside you reaches over and takes your hand, and you hold on, grateful for the anchor, for the reminder that you are not just a cosmic observer but also a human being, connected to other human beings, held by love and friendship and all the small, beautiful bonds that make life worth living. The memory begins to fade, the stars dimming like lights on a dimmer switch being slowly turned down. The cool air warms. The presence beside you dissolves like mist in sun. You feel the pull back to the library, gentler this time, as though it knows you need a moment longer, as though it respects the profound nature of what you have just experienced. But eventually you let go, and you return, carried on that same gentle current that brought you here. You are standing under the vaulted starlit ceiling, the blue and silver book open in your hands. Your face is wet with tears, but you are smiling. You feel different than you did before you opened this book. Lighter. More expansive. As though your sense of self has stretched to include more of the universe, as though you have remembered that you are not just this body, this mind, this small collection of worries and hopes, but something larger and more connected and more enduring. The librarian is watching you with that same deep understanding, that same compassion that needs no words. She has witnessed this transformation before, you think, has seen people remember their cosmic belonging, their place in the infinite pattern. She lets you stand in silence for a moment, lets you feel what you are feeling without rushing you toward the next thing. There is no schedule here, no agenda, only the gentle unfolding of remembering. The joy of perspective, she says softly, after the silence has held you long enough. The joy of understanding that you are small and that this is a gift, not a burden. The joy of remembering that you are part of something ancient and vast and beautiful, that your problems are temporary but your connection to the cosmos is eternal. This, too, is still yours. On the days when everything feels too large, too heavy, too overwhelming, you can remember this. You can look up at the night sky, or even just close your eyes and imagine it, and you can feel this again. This peace. This connection. This perspective that transforms suffering into something manageable, something bearable. You close the book carefully, running your fingers over the constellation patterns on its cover, feeling the cool smoothness of the silver lines against the midnight blue. The patterns seem to rearrange themselves under your touch, forming new constellations, new geometries of meaning. "Thank you," you whisper, and your voice is rough with emotion, thick with tears and wonder and gratitude. The librarian takes the book from your hands with the same reverence she showed the first one, cradling it as though it is precious, which it is, which all these memories are. She carries it to the nearby shelf and places it with care, sliding it into position between two other books that glow with similar cool, twilight colors. "There is no need to thank me," she says, her back still to you as she adjusts the book's position minutely, making sure it sits perfectly. "These memories are yours. These joys are yours. I am only helping you remember what you already know, what you have always known but forgot in the noise and rush of living. This is the work we do here. The work of remembering. The work of reclaiming." She turns back to you, and her robes swirl around her in that gentle, liquid way, catching the starlight from above and seeming to glow from within. She gestures onward, deeper into the library, and you follow. Your body feels lighter now, as though you have set down burdens you did not know you were carrying. Each memory you recover, each piece of joy you reclaim, it is like color returning to a world that had slowly faded to gray without you noticing. You are waking up to your own life, to your own capacity for happiness, to your own inherent worthiness. And it feels like coming home after a long exile. It feels like being welcomed back to yourself. The path continues to wind and spiral through the shelves, and the light shifts again as you walk. It becomes warmer now, honey-colored and thick, moving through the air like syrup, like liquid gold, like sunshine concentrated and made tangible. The books in this section glow in shades of amber and gold, peach and warm bronze, terracotta and burnt sienna. They make you think of autumn afternoons, of harvest time, of abundance and gratitude and the particular beauty of things that are ending beautifully, that are letting go with grace. The air smells different here too. Like bread baking in an oven, yeast and warmth and comfort. Like apples and cinnamon, the scent of pies and orchards and crisp fall mornings. Like wood smoke curling from a chimney, like fallen leaves moldering into earth, like all the smells that mean home and safety and the good kind of tired that comes at the end of a productive day. You walk in comfortable silence with the librarian, and you notice that you are moving more slowly now, your footsteps lazy, dreamlike, as though you are walking through honey, through warm water, through some medium that is thicker and more forgiving than ordinary air. The peaceful atmosphere of the library is seeping into your bones, making you soft, making you open, making you drowsy in the most pleasant way. You are not sleepy exactly, not fighting to keep your eyes open, but you are deeply relaxed, floating on a gentle current of contentment that requires nothing of you except that you let yourself be carried. The shelves open into another clearing, smaller than the last, more intimate. And there is a fireplace here, you realize with a small sound of surprise and delight. An actual fireplace, carved from golden stone that seems to glow from within, as though the stone itself remembers the heat of its formation, the volcanic fires that created it eons ago. And in it burns a fire that gives off warmth but no smoke, light but no harsh glare, crackling sounds but no danger. It is a perfect fire, an ideal fire, the kind of fire that exists more in imagination than reality. It dances and leaps, the flames moving in hypnotic patterns that draw your eye and hold it, orange and gold and deep red, beautiful and mesmerizing and deeply comforting. In front of the fire are two large, overstuffed chairs upholstered in fabric the color of rust and cream, deep and soft-looking, the kind of chairs that promise to embrace you when you sit, that offer not just a place to rest but an experience of being held. Between them is a small table, round and low, made of warm wood that matches the shelves. And on the table is another book. This one is the color of autumn leaves, orange and red and gold all swirled together, with threads of brown and bits of green like the last holdouts of summer refusing to let go. It is warm to the touch when you pick it up, actually warm, as though it has been sitting in sunlight, and it smells like the air in this section of the library. Apples and cinnamon. Comfort. Home. The cover is textured, rough in places and smooth in others, like the surface of tree bark, like the skin of an apple, like something that grew rather than being manufactured. The librarian settles into one of the chairs by the fire with a small sigh of contentment, and she gestures for you to sit in the other. You do, and the chair embraces you exactly as you hoped it would. You sink into it, surrounded by soft cushions that seem to mold themselves to your body, supporting you perfectly. The warmth from the fire reaches you in gentle waves, and you feel your muscles releasing tension you did not know they were holding. The book rests in your lap, and you look at the librarian, your eyes asking the question before your mouth can form it. She nods encouragingly, her own eyes reflecting the firelight, warm and kind and infinitely patient. This one, she says, and her voice is soft as the crackling of the fire, as comfortable as the chair you are sitting in, is about connection. About the joy of being fully present with another person. About the way love can exist in simple moments, in ordinary time. Not the drama of romance, not the grand gestures, but the quiet, profound happiness of sharing space with someone who feels like home. Open it when you are ready. You are ready. More than ready. You open the book, and the memory rises slowly this time, like cream poured into coffee, like honey dripping from a spoon, swirling and mixing and becoming real in a way that feels gentle and unhurried. You are in a kitchen. Your kitchen, you think, though it is not the kitchen you have now. Perhaps a kitchen from years ago, or perhaps a kitchen from somewhere you have not yet lived but hope to someday, or perhaps a kitchen that exists only in this memory, in this moment of perfect domesticity. It is warm and golden with afternoon light streaming through windows, the kind of light that happens in late afternoon when the sun is lowering but not yet setting, when everything looks slightly gilded, slightly precious. There are plants on the windowsill above the sink, green and healthy and trailing their vines down toward the counter in cheerful cascades. Pothose, maybe, or philodendron, some easy plant that thrives on benign neglect and fills the space with life. There is music playing softly from somewhere, something instrumental and gentle, maybe acoustic guitar or piano, something that provides atmosphere without demanding attention. The air smells like coffee and something baking, something sweet and warm that makes your mouth water and your heart feel full. You are not alone. There is someone with you, moving around the kitchen with easy familiarity, opening drawers and closing cabinets, their movements economical and comfortable, the movements of someone who knows this space as well as you do. Again, you cannot quite make out their face, but you know them. You know them deeply, fundamentally, in the way you know your own heartbeat, your own breath. A partner, a best friend, a soulmate, someone whose presence in your space feels as natural as breathing, as necessary as air. They are talking to you about something inconsequential, something that will not matter at all tomorrow, maybe a funny thing that happened at work or something they saw on their walk or a story about a friend. The specifics do not matter. What matters is the sound of their voice, the rhythm of it, the way it fills the space and makes the kitchen feel alive, makes the afternoon feel complete. You are doing something simple. Washing dishes, perhaps, your hands in warm soapy water, the smell of dish soap clean and familiar. Or chopping vegetables for dinner, the rhythmic sound of knife on cutting board, the bright colors of peppers and carrots and onions. Something domestic and ordinary, something you have done 1,000 times before and will do 1,000 times again. And you are happy. Deeply, quietly, completely happy. There is no drama in this moment, no grand gesture, no special occasion. It is just a regular afternoon, doing regular things, with someone you love. And that is enough. It is more than enough. It is everything. They say something that makes you laugh, something silly or clever or just perfectly timed, and the sound of your own laughter surprises you. It is so genuine, so unguarded, so free of self-consciousness or performance. You laugh the way you laughed as a child, with your whole body, with complete abandon. They laugh too, delighted by your delight, and then they are beside you, bumping their hip against yours in a gesture of playful affection, teasing you gently about something you cannot quite remember. You feel the warmth of their body next to yours, the casual intimacy of long familiarity, the comfort of being with someone who has seen you at your worst and your best and loves you through all of it. This is what love looks like, you think. Not fireworks or sweeping declarations. Not the butterflies of new romance or the intensity of passion. This. The ease of shared space. The comfort of being seen and known and still wanted. The joy of making someone laugh. The sweetness of ordinary time made extraordinary by the simple fact of togetherness. This is the love that lasts, you realize. This is the love that sustains. Not the burning, consuming love of songs and movies, but the warm, steady love of shared afternoons and inside jokes and knowing how someone takes their coffee without asking. The light in the kitchen is so beautiful, turning everything golden, making the ordinary sacred. The plants on the windowsill seem to glow. The dishes in the sink catch the light and gleam. Even the crumbs on the counter look precious, like evidence of a life being lived fully, messily, joyfully. You look at the person beside you, and you feel your heart so full that it aches, so full that it seems impossible that your chest can contain it. You want to tell them how much this means to you, this simple afternoon, this easy togetherness, this feeling of being completely yourself with another person. But you do not have the words. The feeling is too big for words, too profound for language. So instead you just reach out and take their hand, twining your fingers through theirs, feeling the warmth of their palm against yours, the particular way your hands fit together as though they were designed for exactly this. They look at you, surprised by the gesture, by the sudden intensity in your face. And then they smile, and it is a smile of perfect understanding, of seeing and being seen. They know. They always know. That is what it means to be with someone who truly knows you. I love this, you say, and your voice is quiet but certain, steady with the kind of certainty that comes from deep truth. I love this so much. This. Us. This afternoon. This life. All of it. Me too, they say, and they squeeze your hand, their thumb stroking across your knuckles in a gesture so familiar it almost hurts. Me too. Exactly this. You stand there in the golden kitchen, hand in hand, while the music plays and the plants grow and the afternoon light makes everything look like a painting, like a moment that should be preserved forever, that should be kept in amber and treasured. And you understand something important, something that you have always known but forgotten in your pursuit of excitement, of achievement, of all the things the world tells you should make you happy. You understand that happiness does not require extraordinary circumstances. It does not require perfection or romance or adventure or anything other than this. Being with someone who feels like home, doing nothing special, feeling grateful for the ordinary miracle of connection. The extraordinary hidden inside the ordinary. The sacred living inside the mundane. The memory begins to fade, the kitchen dissolving, the warmth of the hand in yours growing fainter, becoming memory of warmth rather than warmth itself. You try to hold on just a moment longer, want to stay in this golden kitchen forever, but it slips away like water through your fingers, like light at dusk, like all beautiful moments must, leaving only the echo of itself, the feeling of it imprinted on your heart. You are back in the chair by the fire, the book in your lap, tears running down your face once again. But these tears feel different than the others. They are slower, quieter, more like a gentle rain than a storm. They are the tears of gratitude, of recognizing how much love you have experienced in your life, how many moments of connection you have been given, how rich your life has been in the ways that truly matter. The librarian is watching you with infinite gentleness. She does not speak right away, just lets you sit with the emotion, lets you feel what you are feeling without trying to move you past it too quickly. The fire crackles softly, sending up small showers of sparks that disappear harmlessly into the golden stone chimney. The light is warm on your skin, on your face, and you feel held by this space, held by the memory, held by the understanding that you are not alone in your longing for connection, for love, for the simple joy of being known. Finally, she speaks, and her voice is so gentle it is almost a whisper. The joy of connection, she says. The joy of being known and loved for exactly who you are. The joy of ordinary moments made extraordinary by shared presence, by the alchemy of togetherness. This is one of the deepest joys a human can experience. To be seen and to see another. To be loved and to love. Not in theory or in the abstract, but in practice, in daily life, in the simple act of sharing space and time. This is yours. It has been yours. It will be yours again, in whatever form it needs to take. And even when you are alone, you can remember this. You can remember that you are capable of this kind of love, this kind of connection. You can remember that you have experienced it, which means you can experience it again. You close the book, running your hands over its autumn-colored cover, feeling the texture of it beneath your palms, rough and smooth, warm and alive. You feel changed by these memories, opened, softened, made more human somehow. You are remembering how to feel joy. You are remembering all the ways you have experienced happiness in your life, all the forms it has taken. Childhood wonder. Cosmic perspective. Simple connection. And you know there are more. So many more. The librarian rises from her chair with fluid grace, and you rise too, though part of you wants to stay by this fire forever, safe and warm and held by the memory of love. She takes the book from you and shelves it carefully, giving it a small pat as though blessing it, thanking it for the gift it has given. Then she turns back to you, and her eyes are bright with something that might be excitement, might be anticipation. "There is one more," she says, and her voice is soft but certain. "One more that is calling strongly tonight. The most important one, perhaps. Would you like to find it?" You nod without hesitation. You are tired now, in the best way. The peaceful, heavy tiredness that comes after a good day, after meaningful work, after time well spent. Your body feels relaxed and heavy, your mind calm and open. But you are also still curious, still receptive. You want to see what the last memory will be. You sense that it will be significant, that it will complete something, that it will bring this journey full circle. You follow the librarian out of the firelit clearing and back into the winding paths of shelves. The light is shifting again, becoming softer, hazier, more diffuse. It is like the light just before dawn or just after dusk, that liminal light that belongs neither to day nor night but to the threshold between them, the in-between time when transformation happens, when one thing becomes another. The books here glow in gentle pastels, pinks and blues and lavenders, mint green and butter yellow, colors so soft they are almost not colors at all but rather suggestions of color, whispers of hue. They seem to hum with something soothing, something lullaby-like, a vibration you can feel in your bones more than hear with your ears. The air is thick and warm and so peaceful that you feel you are moving through a dream, through layers of cotton, through clouds. Your footsteps are slower than ever, each one requiring more effort not because you are tired but because you are so relaxed that movement itself seems unnecessary, seems like an interruption of the perfect stillness you have found. But you continue walking, following the librarian's flowing form ahead of you, trusting that she knows where you need to go, what you need to see. The shelves open one final time, and you find yourself in the most beautiful clearing yet. It is circular and domed, and the dome above you is translucent, glowing with soft rose-colored light as though the sun is setting somewhere beyond it, as though you are inside a bubble made of the most beautiful moment of twilight, preserved and protected. In the center of the clearing is a pool of water, perfectly still, reflecting the glowing dome above like a mirror, creating the illusion that you are standing between two skies, two worlds, two realities. Around the pool grows moss, thick and soft as carpet, so green it almost seems to glow with its own internal light. And scattered through the moss are tiny flowers, white and star-shaped, no bigger than your thumbnail, their petals perfect and pristine, like tiny constellations fallen to earth. The air smells like water and green growing things, like moss and minerals, and something sweet and clean that you cannot identify but that makes you think of purity, of innocence, of beginnings. It is the smell of spring rain and new growth and all the scents that mean renewal, that mean starting over, that mean being given another chance. On the edge of the pool, resting on a cushion of moss that seems to have grown specifically to hold it, is the final book. It is smaller than the others, more delicate, and it glows with the softest light yet, pale pink and warm, like the inside of a seashell, like the blush on a baby's cheek, like the first light of dawn touching the horizon. The cover seems to be made of something like silk, and when you approach and touch it, it is warm and yielding, soft as skin, as flower petals, as all the gentlest things in the world. You can feel it pulsing under your hand, a gentle rhythm like a heartbeat, like breathing, like the tide coming in and going out. The librarian kneels by the pool, her robe spreading around her in graceful folds, and you kneel beside her. The moss is soft beneath your knees, cushioning you, supporting you. The water is so still that you can see both your reflections perfectly, two faces looking up from the depths, mirror images of people engaged in the sacred work of remembering. This last one, the librarian says, and her voice is barely a whisper, barely a breath, as though she is afraid of disturbing something precious and fragile, is perhaps the most important. It holds the joy of being yourself, of accepting yourself, of recognizing your own worthiness. It is a memory of a moment when you felt completely at peace with who you are, when you looked at yourself with compassion rather than criticism, when you understood that you are enough exactly as you are. You pick up the small book, holding it carefully as though it might break, though you sense it is stronger than it looks, that it contains something essential and enduring. It is warm in your hands, pulsing gently like a sleeping animal, like a heart held in your palms. You open it with the greatest care, and the memory rises like a gentle tide, like a sigh, like a prayer answered. You are alone. Completely alone. And it is not the painful aloneness of loneliness, but the rich, full aloneness of solitude chosen and cherished. You are in a place of natural beauty. A forest, perhaps, tall trees surrounding you, their branches forming a cathedral ceiling far overhead. Or a beach, sand beneath you and ocean stretching to the horizon. Or a meadow, grass and wildflowers nodding in a gentle breeze under an enormous sky. The specific location does not matter, shifts and changes as you try to pin it down. What matters is that you are surrounded by something larger and older and more patient than yourself. Trees or water or sky or earth. Something that has existed long before you and will exist long after, something that puts your brief life into perspective without making it feel insignificant. And you are sitting very still, cross-legged or lying on your back or leaning against something solid. Not trying to do anything, not trying to be anything, just existing. Just being. Just allowing yourself to take up space in the world without apologizing for it, without explaining it, without justifying it. You are here, alive, breathing, and that is enough. That is all that is required. And in this stillness, this solitude, this perfect quiet, something extraordinary is happening. You are feeling completely, utterly okay. Not happy in a jumping, excited way. Not ecstatic or thrilled or even particularly positive. But okay. At peace. Content with this moment, with this body, with this life, with this self. There is no war happening inside you. No voice telling you that you should be more or less or different. No comparison to others. No judgment. Just acceptance. Just a quiet, profound sense of being enough. You are thinking about all your flaws, all the ways you have judged yourself over the years, all the harsh words you have said to yourself in your own mind. The criticism, the shame, the constant feeling of not measuring up. And somehow, in this moment, they do not have any power. You can see them, you can acknowledge them, but they do not define you. They are just part of the complex, messy, beautiful reality of being human. Everyone has them. Everyone struggles. Everyone feels inadequate sometimes. It is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that you are alive, that you are growing, that you are trying. You think about your body, about all the ways you have been at war with it, criticized it, wished it were different. Thinner or taller or more muscular or less scarred or younger or healthier or just other than it is. And in this moment, sitting in this place of natural beauty, feeling the aliveness of your own flesh, you feel gratitude for it. Deep, genuine gratitude. Gratitude for the way it carries you through the world, for the way it heals itself when you are hurt, for the way it fights off illness and mends broken bones and grows new skin over wounds. Gratitude for the way it lets you feel pleasure and comfort and the warmth of sun on skin, the coolness of water, the softness of fabric, the satisfaction of a good meal. You place a hand on your own chest, feeling your heartbeat under your palm, steady and faithful, and you whisper, "Thank you. Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for being my home." You think about your mind, about your personality, about all the ways you are not perfect, not impressive, not special enough. All the ways you are anxious or awkward or too much or not enough. And in this moment, you realize that you do not need to be any of those things. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be impressive. You do not need to be special. You are enough exactly as you are. You are a person who is trying their best, who is doing what they can with what they have, who is learning and growing and making mistakes and trying again. You are worthy of love and kindness simply because you exist. Your worthiness is not conditional. It is not something you have to earn or prove. It is your birthright, simply for being alive. The peace that fills you is profound. It is not dramatic or exciting. It does not feel like a revelation, though it is one. It feels quiet and natural, like finally setting down a heavy load you did not realize you were carrying. It feels like finally coming home after a long journey, like finally being able to rest. You are okay. You have always been okay. You will always be okay, no matter what happens, because your worthiness is not based on your achievements or your appearance or your productivity or anything external. It is intrinsic. It cannot be taken away. You sit in this place of natural beauty, feeling the sun or the shade on your skin, hearing the sounds of wind through leaves or waves on shore or birds calling to each other. And you breathe deeply, pulling the air all the way down into your lungs, feeling your chest expand and your belly rise, and then releasing it slowly, feeling everything soften and settle. And with each breath, you forgive yourself. For everything. For every mistake, every failure, every moment of weakness or selfishness or fear. For all the times you were not who you wanted to be. For all the ways you have hurt yourself and others. For all the opportunities you missed and the words you wish you could take back. You forgive yourself, and in doing so, you set yourself free. Tears are streaming down your face, but you are smiling. You feel lighter than you have in years, as though you have been carrying a heavy pack on your shoulders for so long that you forgot it was there, and now you have finally set it down. The relief is almost overwhelming. You feel open, vulnerable, raw, and alive. You feel like yourself. Your true self. The self that exists beneath all the performance and protection and pretending. The self that does not need to impress anyone or prove anything. The self that just is. And it feels like coming home after a lifetime of wandering, of searching, of trying to be someone you are not. You look around at the natural beauty that surrounds you, at the trees or water or sky or earth that has witnessed this moment of transformation, and you feel connected to it in a way that goes beyond words. You are not separate from this. You are part of it. You are nature looking at itself. You are the earth becoming conscious of itself. And in this awareness, you find peace. Not the peace of having solved all your problems, but the peace of accepting that you do not need to. Not the peace of being perfect, but the peace of being human. Not the peace of having arrived, but the peace of being okay with the journey, with all its messiness and uncertainty and beauty. The memory begins to fade, slowly and gently, like the tide going out, like the sun setting, like all natural endings that are not really endings but just transitions into something else. The forest or beach or meadow dissolves, the sounds grow distant, the feeling of earth and air against your skin becomes more memory than sensation. You feel the pull back to the library, and this time you do not resist it. You have received what you needed from this memory. You have remembered what you came here to remember. You let yourself be carried back on that gentle current, trusting, surrendering, grateful. You return to the clearing by the pool, the small book still warm in your hands. You are crying freely now, not trying to stop the tears or hide them or apologize for them. They flow down your face like a cleansing rain, washing away years of self-judgment, of criticism, of believing that you were not enough. And the librarian reaches out and gently touches your shoulder, her hand warm and steady and so full of compassion that it makes you cry harder. The touch feels like permission, like understanding, like being seen in the fullness of your humanity and accepted completely. You saw it, she whispers, and her own voice is thick with emotion, as though she has been moved by witnessing your transformation. You saw the truth of yourself. That you are worthy. That you are enough. That you have always been enough and will always be enough. This knowledge, this peace, it is always inside you. Even when you forget. Even when the world tells you otherwise. Even when your own mind tries to convince you that you are lacking or broken or insufficient. It is there, waiting. This truth is the foundation of everything. When you know, truly know, that you are enough, everything else becomes possible. Joy becomes possible. Love becomes possible. Peace becomes possible. You close the book carefully, holding it against your chest for a moment before you are ready to let it go, as though you are trying to absorb its wisdom directly into your heart, into your body, into the core of who you are. Finally, you hand it to the librarian, and she takes it with both hands, cradling it as though it is precious beyond measure, which it is, which all moments of self-acceptance are. She carries it to a special place on the shelf, eye level, right at the front where you could find it easily if you returned, where you could reach for it whenever you need to remember this truth. She turns back to you, and her eyes are shining with something that might be tears, might be joy, might be the simple satisfaction of having helped someone find their way home to themselves. You have remembered 4 joys tonight, she says, and her voice is soft but certain, steady as a heartbeat. The joy of wonder. The joy of perspective. The joy of connection. And the joy of self-acceptance. These are not the only joys you have known, but they are powerful ones, essential ones. They are the foundations upon which a happy life can be built. And now that you have remembered them, now that you have touched them again, felt them again in your body and your heart, they will be easier to find in your waking life. They will be more accessible. You have opened doors that had been closed. You have lit candles that had gone out. She gestures around the library, at the infinite shelves stretching in all directions, glowing with their soft and patient light, holding countless memories, countless moments of joy waiting to be reclaimed. All of these books are yours, she says, and her voice is full of quiet wonder, as though she herself never tires of this truth. Every memory of joy, every moment of beauty, every experience of love and wonder and peace. They are all shelved here, preserved, protected, waiting. You can return to this place whenever you need to remember. In your dreams, in your meditations, in those quiet moments before sleep when the world grows soft and the boundaries between waking and sleeping become thin. This library exists for you. It has always existed for you. It will always exist for you. You are never truly separated from your own joy. You can only forget where to find it. And now you remember. You look around at the impossible space, at the books that seem to breathe with light, at the dome above you glowing rose and gold and pink, at the pool that mirrors the beauty back to itself. You feel full to overflowing, full of emotion and memory and something that feels like hope, like possibility, like the sense that your life can be different than it has been, that you can be different, not by becoming someone else but by remembering who you truly are. You feel as though you have been given a gift, something precious and irreplaceable, something that will change you in ways you cannot yet imagine. How do I keep this? You ask, and your voice is small, uncertain, afraid that this feeling will fade as soon as you leave this place, as soon as you return to your ordinary life with its noise and demands and distractions. How do I keep this feeling? How do I remember, when I go back to my regular life, when everything is loud and busy and demanding again? When the world tries to convince me that wonder is childish and that I need to achieve more and be more and do more to be worthy? The librarian smiles, and it is a smile of such kindness, such deep understanding, that it makes your chest ache with gratitude. She takes both of your hands in hers, holding them gently, and her hands are warm and steady and strong. You keep it by honoring it, she says, and her voice is firm now, clear, as though she is giving you instructions that you must remember. By making space for joy, even small joy, even quiet joy. By looking for wonder in ordinary moments. By choosing to see beauty even when it would be easier to see only ugliness. By being gentle with yourself, speaking to yourself with the same kindness you would offer a beloved friend. By remembering that happiness is not something you have to chase or earn or wait for. It is something you can choose, moment by moment, breath by breath, by paying attention to what is beautiful, what is good, what is enough. She squeezes your hands, and the pressure is grounding, anchoring you in this moment. You keep it by practicing, she continues. By making these memories into habits. Start each day by looking for one small thing that fills you with wonder, the way the clover filled you with wonder in your grandmother's garden. Once a week, look up at the night sky and remember your cosmic belonging, your place in the vast pattern. Make time to be with people you love, and be fully present with them, not distracted by your phone or your worries or your endless list of things to do. And most importantly, practice self-acceptance. When you catch yourself being cruel to yourself, pause. Take a breath. Remember this moment, this memory of peace. Speak to yourself with kindness. You do not have to be perfect. You only have to be human. You nod, taking in her words, letting them sink into you like water into dry earth. You can do this. You can remember. You can practice. You can choose joy, again and again, until it becomes natural, until it becomes your default state instead of something you have to work to find. And remember, she says, leaning closer, her voice dropping to barely a whisper, that forgetting is part of the process. You will forget. You will have days when you cannot see the beauty, when everything feels gray and joyless, when you are cruel to yourself, when you cannot remember why any of this matters. And that is okay. Forgetting is not failure. It is simply part of being human. When you forget, you can remember again. You can come back to this library, or you can simply close your eyes wherever you are and recall these memories, these feelings. You can return to yourself over and over again, as many times as you need to, for the rest of your life. The door is always open. The books are always here. You are always welcome home. She releases your hands, and you feel the loss of her touch like a small grief. But you also feel the warmth lingering on your skin, the imprint of her care, her wisdom, her belief in your capacity to hold on to what you have found here. It is time for you to rest now, she says gently. You have done important work here tonight. Sacred work. You have reclaimed pieces of yourself that were lost. You have remembered joys that were forgotten. Now you need to let them settle, let them integrate, let them become part of who you are again. You need to sleep, deeply and peacefully, and let your dreams weave these memories back into the fabric of your being. She stands, her robes flowing around her like water, like light, and she extends a hand to help you up. You take it and rise from the moss, feeling how heavy your body has become, how tired you are in the best possible way. It is the tiredness of good work completed, of a journey well traveled, of a heart that has been filled to overflowing. She turns and begins to walk back through the clearing, back toward the entrance to the library that you cannot quite remember finding, and you follow her, your steps slow and dreamlike. As you walk, the light in the library begins to dim, very slowly, very gently, like a sunset that takes hours, like twilight that never quite becomes night but only grows softer and softer. The books still glow, but their light is more subdued now, more like embers than flames, more like stars seen through clouds than stars in a clear sky. The air grows thicker, warmer, more like the air of a bedroom in the middle of the night, still and close and deeply peaceful. You are so relaxed, so content, that each step feels like an effort, like trying to walk through honey, through warm water, through clouds. But it is not an unpleasant effort. It is the effort of letting go, of surrendering, of allowing yourself to sink into rest, into sleep, into the gentle darkness that is waiting to embrace you. The librarian's voice comes to you, soft and distant, though she walks just ahead. The words seem to float on the air, to dissolve into it, to become part of the atmosphere itself. Remember the garden, she says, and her voice is like a lullaby, like a prayer, like the sound of waves on a shore. Remember the clover, and the joy of believing in magic. Remember your grandmother's smile, her warm hands, her belief in you. Remember that you can still see wonder, if you choose to look. The four-leaf clover is still inside you. The magic is still real. You nod, your eyes half closed, your body so heavy and relaxed that you can barely stay upright. The memory of the garden glows in your mind like a warm coal, pulsing gently with its own heat, its own light. Your grandmother's face. The summer sun. The perfect four-leaf clover held up to the light. The absolute certainty that magic exists. You remember. Yes, you remember. Remember the stars, the librarian continues, her voice growing fainter, more dreamlike, as though she is speaking from very far away, or from very deep inside you, or perhaps both. Remember how small you are, and how that smallness is a gift, not a burden. Remember the cool grass beneath you, the ancient light above you, the presence beside you. Remember that you are connected to something vast and patient and beautiful, something that holds you even when you feel alone. You are made of stars. You are home. You belong. The memory of the night sky unfolds behind your closed eyelids, vast and glittering and infinite. The endless stars. The cool darkness. The sense of being held by the universe itself. The peace of understanding that you are both insignificant and precious, brief and eternal, small and connected to everything. You are part of the pattern. You always have been. You remember. Remember the kitchen, she whispers, and her voice is barely audible now, more feeling than sound, more vibration than words. Remember the golden light, and the easy laughter, and the warmth of a hand in yours. Remember the music playing softly, the plants growing on the windowsill, the smell of coffee and cinnamon and home. Remember that connection is possible, that love is real, that you are worthy of being known and cherished. Remember the joy of ordinary afternoons. Remember that you do not need extraordinary circumstances to be happy. You only need presence. You only need love. The golden kitchen blooms in your mind, warm and bright and filled with love. The easy laughter. The comfortable silence. The hand in yours, warm and familiar and exactly right. The sense of being home, of being safe, of being loved for exactly who you are. Connection is real. Love is possible. You remember. Remember yourself, the librarian breathes, and now her voice is inside you, part of you, indistinguishable from your own thoughts, your own knowing. Remember the peace you felt in that place of natural beauty. Remember the moment of forgiving yourself, of accepting yourself, of understanding that you are enough. Remember that your worthiness is not conditional, not earned, not something that can be taken away. You are worthy simply because you exist. You are whole. You are loved. You are home. The memory of peace washes over you like a warm wave, like a benediction, like grace itself. The stillness. The acceptance. The profound sense of being okay exactly as you are. The lightness of setting down the burden of self-judgment. The freedom of self-forgiveness. You are enough. You have always been enough. You will always be enough. You remember. You remember. You remember. You are walking still, or perhaps you are floating, or perhaps you are no longer moving at all and only dreaming that you are walking. The distinction no longer seems important. The library around you is dissolving into golden mist, into soft darkness, into the space between waking and sleeping where all things are possible and nothing is required of you except to rest, to surrender, to let go completely. The librarian's presence is fading, but you can still feel her, all around you, in the air you breathe, in the warmth that holds you, in the peace that fills every cell of your body. She is everywhere and nowhere, part of the library, part of the dream, part of you. She is the voice of your own wisdom, your own compassion, your own capacity for self-love. She has always been you. You have always been her. You are learning to be your own gentle guide, your own patient librarian, your own source of comfort and wisdom. Sleep now, she whispers, and her voice is the voice of every kind person who has ever wished you well, every gentle presence that has ever offered you comfort, every love you have ever known. It is your grandmother's voice and the voice of the person beside you under the stars and the voice of your beloved in the golden kitchen. It is the voice of the earth and the sky and the universe itself. It is the voice of your own deepest self, the part of you that has always known you are worthy, that has always loved you, that has always been waiting for you to come home. Sleep and dream and know that you are safe. Know that you are loved. Know that all the joy you have ever felt is still inside you, waiting to be remembered, waiting to be lived again. Sleep, dear one. Sleep and rest and heal and wake tomorrow with a heart just a little lighter, a spirit just a little more open to wonder. Sleep now. Sleep. And you do. You feel yourself sinking, soft and slow, like a leaf falling through water, like snow drifting down on a windless night, like all gentle, inevitable descents into rest. The golden mist around you deepens to warm darkness, to the perfect black of a moonless night, to the void that is not empty but full, full of potential, full of rest, full of dreams waiting to be dreamed. You are so tired, so peaceful, so ready to let go completely. The last thing you feel is the sense of being held. Held by the library, by the librarian, by the memories you have reclaimed, by your own capacity for joy. You are held the way a child is held, the way you held yourself in that moment of self-acceptance, with complete tenderness, with absolute assurance that you are safe and loved and exactly where you need to be. Your breathing slows, deepens, becomes the breathing of deep and dreamless sleep. In and out. In and out. so slow, so steady. Each breath carrying you deeper into rest, deeper into darkness, deeper into the healing power of true sleep. Your body is heavy, sinking into softness, every muscle released, every tension dissolved. Your mind is quiet, empty of worry, empty of planning, empty of everything except a soft glow of contentment that pulses gently, like a heartbeat, like the breathing of the universe itself. You are asleep, and you are safe, and you are home. The library fades completely, dissolving into the darkness behind your eyelids, but it does not disappear. It never disappears. It waits for you, patient and eternal, in the space between sleeping and waking. All those books, all those memories, all that joy, still there, still yours, still glowing with their soft and steady light. Waiting for whenever you need to remember. Waiting to remind you of what you have always known, deep down, beneath all the noise and fear and forgetting. You are capable of joy. You are worthy of happiness. You are enough. The darkness is complete now, warm and soft and perfect. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be, nothing to think or worry about. There is only this. Only rest. Only peace. Only the gentle breathing of sleep, in and out, steady as waves on a shore, constant as the turning of the earth, eternal as the stars themselves. You drift deeper, past dreams, past thought, past everything except the pure sensation of being alive, being safe, being held. The library is gone but not gone, folded away inside you like a letter tucked into a pocket, ready to be opened whenever you need its words. The librarian is gone but not gone, her presence woven into your own sense of self, her kindness become your kindness, her understanding become your own capacity for self-compassion. She lives in you now. The library lives in you now. The joy lives in you now. The memories glow softly in your sleeping mind, not as stories anymore but as feelings, as truths, as parts of yourself that have been restored. The child in the garden lives in you. The person under the stars lives in you. The one in the golden kitchen, the one sitting in natural beauty accepting themselves completely, they all live in you. They have always lived in you. You have only been away for a while, lost in the busy surface of life, forgetting to visit the depths where the real treasures are kept. But now you remember. Now you know. And knowing, you can rest completely, can surrender into sleep with the assurance that when you wake, something will have shifted. Something subtle but profound. A little more lightness. A little more openness to joy. A little more willingness to see the magic that exists in ordinary moments, to feel the peace that comes from accepting yourself exactly as you are. The darkness holds you like water, like air, like love itself. You are dissolving into it, becoming part of it, and it is not frightening. It is relief. It is homecoming. It is the sweetest surrender imaginable. Your breathing is so slow now, so deep and even. In and out. In and out. Each breath carrying you deeper into rest, deeper into healing, deeper into the restorative power of true sleep. Your heart beats steadily, calmly, the ancient rhythm that has sustained you since before you were born, that will sustain you for all your days. You are alive. You are resting. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. Time ceases to have meaning. You might sleep for minutes or hours or years or lifetimes. It does not matter. In this place, in this perfect darkness, there is no time, only rest, only the eternal now of deep and dreamless sleep. You are beyond time, beyond worry, beyond everything except this profound peace. The library waits. The books wait. The memories wait. The joy waits. All of it patient, all of it permanent, all of it yours. And when you need it again, when the world grows too loud or your heart grows too heavy, you can return. You can close your eyes, breathe deeply, and find yourself standing once again among the glowing shelves, with the gentle librarian there to welcome you home, to help you remember, to guide you back to yourself. But for now, for this moment, for this eternal present, there is only sleep. Deep, restorative, healing sleep. The kind of sleep that makes everything better, that mends what was broken, that restores what was depleted. The kind of sleep that you sink into completely, gratefully, knowing that you are safe, that you are loved, that you are held. Your last conscious thought, before even thought dissolves into pure rest, is a feeling. A feeling of gratitude. Gratitude for this journey, for these memories, for the reminder that joy is always possible, that wonder is always available, that you are always, always enough. Gratitude for the garden and the stars and the golden kitchen and the moment of self-acceptance. Gratitude for your life, with all its complexity and challenge and beauty. Gratitude for yourself, for your capacity to feel deeply, to love fully, to keep trying even when things are hard. And then even that thought fades, and there is only darkness, and warmth, and breath, and the infinite peace of deep sleep. Rest now. Rest and heal and dream. Rest and know that when you wake, you will remember. You will remember the magic. You will remember the stars. You will remember the love. You will remember yourself. Rest now, beloved. Sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. In and out. In and out. Soft and slow. Deep and peaceful. Each breath a blessing. Each moment a gift. Sleep. 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 The darkness is complete, and it is kind. It asks nothing of you. It only offers rest and peace, and the promise of tomorrow. You sink into it without resistance, without fear, without anything except trust. Trust that you will wake when you are ready. Trust that the memories will still be there, woven into the fabric of who you are. Trust that you will be okay. Trust that you are enough. The library glows somewhere in your depths, a constant presence, a source of light in the darkness. The books rest on their shelves, patient and eternal. The librarian smiles, knowing you will return when you need her, knowing you carry her wisdom within you now. The memories pulse gently, heartbeats of joy that will never be lost again. And you sleep. Deeply. Peacefully. Completely. Held by the darkness. Held by the light. Held by love. In and out. In and out. So slow. So gentle. So easy. Sleep. Just sleep. Rest your tired body. Rest your busy mind. Rest your tender heart. Let everything go. Let everything soften. Let everything be. You are exactly where you need to be. You are exactly who you need to be. You are enough. You are loved. You are home. Sleep now. Sleep and dream of gardens and stars and golden afternoons. Dream of acceptance and wonder and peace. Dream of all the joy that is yours. Dream deeply. Dream well. And when you wake, remember. Remember that the library is always there. Remember that the joy is always yours. Remember that you are always enough. But for now, just sleep. Soft and deep. Safe and warm. Held by love. In and out. In and out. Sleep. Sleep. Sleep.